Hey Richard, I think I'm guessing you're still there or you're not. Let's start with photos of Uranus. Richard has put no, let's not start with any photos of Uranus. Thank you very much. Hope you're all right, my friend, and I hope everyone's doing okay. It's Wednesday, the 24th of June. Imran Web Squadron. Please let me know if the lighting is okay because I'm using this new softbox light now, which comes with quite a funky little control device over here. Damn, you could see all the dust on there, couldn't you? Look at that. Very dusty, even though it doesn't look that dusty when I put it over here, which is strange. Anyway, so this is with the light off. In fact, this is with all the lights off at the moment. So you see it's very, very dark. I got this light over here and then this one. And do let me know if it's not dark, if it's too dark or too bright. Anyway, hey, friendly girl, how are you doing? Tarakangas, hey, Paul, how are you doing? Paul, I'm surprised you're here. I mean, you've got a lot to be getting on with. Number one, you've got your Thomas talk, and you also jumped into a couple of live chats yesterday, one helping out Dave Foy, and your own live chat that I unfortunately could not be part of because I was out picking up my son. But I'm definitely going to make sure I catch up on the Thomas one because I really would love to. It's going to feel like for those of you that don't know, at 3 p.m. or in 3 hours and 15 minutes, Paul will be doing a live chat with Thomas from Bricks Builder. And because we don't often see Thomas on screen, it's going to be a pretty good opportunity. But yeah, Paul, good to see you here. But I'm surprised. I thought you'd be like getting all prepped and make sure everything is working and everything is really, really good. I want to address something, though, in that I have mentioned it before. Hey, Greg. Hey, B Informatica. Hey, Nick. Hey, Paul Burgess. So obviously 2024. Hey, Alberto. How are you doing? So for 2024, I have made a few changes in terms of like how many live chats I'm doing. And I know a lot of people aren't overly happy by that. And I might increase them again, but for now we are doing just one per week. And also, I want to try and make sure that. Oh, sorry, hold on here. Bob was send that link out. Oh, cool. Oh, did I not send a link? I did not send a link. Hold on a minute. I did not copy the link. So this one is for Paul. And by the way, though, when I do send out the link, even if people click it, I'm going to be a little bit restrictive on who I let into the live chats. Paul, obviously, is definitely always going to be allowed on screen. But I have had some feedback from some people that have said sometimes there's too many on screen at any one time. And sometimes they get disturbances or irritation with noise. Hey, Chris, WP Magin, how are you doing? Great to have you here as well. So obviously 2024, I've reduced the amount of live chats I'm doing, and that is a little bit due to website work, our own work where I'm producing course material, and also I'm exploring other avenues as well. I'm not massively keen on YouTube Shorts and TikTok and stuff like that. However, I am still going to be trying to put out a few more short material because I do feel like it is a bandwagon that if you're not part of, you can miss out. And what I did want to say was when it comes to branding, and there's a reason I'm talking about that, it's linked into branding. I keep getting emails and hey, Mark Harris, how are you doing? Mark, if you want to join the live chat, you can do as well. Hey, Abdul Hanan, how are you? A lot of people say they're struggling to get higher paying clients or they're struggling to get clients. And I then say, you'll see this in the comments as well, by the way. Hey, Dave, how are you doing, my friend? You're doing really well on YouTube, by the way. A lot of people say, no, sorry, you will see me often in my comments saying, what is your portfolio website? Oh, here we go. Mark Harris is now on the scene. How are you doing, Mark?
Good. How are you?
Oh, hold on. Here we got Anti-Fan joining in as well.
Don't let me in.
So before I talk about the branding side of things, so Paul, obviously you've got the live chat with Thomas in just over 3 hours' time. And
how smug he looks. Lord.
I know.
Yeah.
Do you only have one copy of that shirt? So is it like, are you just going to keep wearing it until it gets really dirty?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, in the studio, I literally have like half a dozen different T-shirts that I only wear them when I actually come into the studio to do a video. So it's like once it's done, it's like off, get on with the next T-shirt, whatever it is. So it isn't something that I wear constantly. I do actually put on just through the videos and then take it off.
It's funny you say that
Yeah,
because
it's fine.
I'm
It's
actually
fine.
on the hunt for some good quality heavy cotton t-shirts that I could just wear for like recording because I always it's funny, but a lot of people don't realize this, but you end up building your brand. Like Mark, if you ever do video calls with clients, if you know you got a video call with a client, say later on today or tomorrow, do you dress accordingly or no, but you have a
Let's go.
uniform, don't you?
Let's say no. No, look, my business partner makes me have a shave, makes me dress smart.
We don't believe that at all.
Much as I don't want to. No, I kid you not. I kid you not.
I mean,
No,
if I'm honest, me and Imran think that the profile photo that you have is actually not you; it's someone else.
it is a very young photo, Mark. That
But
photo
the
of you.
wine. I mean, with the glass of wine, is it?
No,
I
it's
don't
the
know.
one where you've
No.
got. I think it's
Hair.
where you got brown hair.
Hair. You mean where
Yeah,
I've
full
got
I'm
stop.
hair?
sure it's the one. I'm
Just
sure it's
hair.
the one with brown hair.
The one on here. What one have I got on here?
Unless that was the background, and I've assumed that was hair.
That one. Yeah, I am holding a glass of wine. So that was 2009.
Oh
Bloody
wow,
hell.
how times have changed.
Yeah, well, yeah.
No, but
Happens to the
yeah,
best of us.
Paul. But
Mm,
obviously you've got the chat in 3 hours.
I do.
What are you doing in the studio right now? I mean, shouldn't you be like taking it easy and getting ready?
Hair and makeup are coming in later.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Well, I kind of thought about things like that, but the reality is I've got the questions lined up. As long as I don't have a technical issue, which, touch wood,
Yeah.
I've got no real control over, there's no point in me worrying about it. So I thought, well, I know you're going live, so I thought I'd pop in and say hello. Once that's done, I'll probably grab some lunch, and I got a video then I want to shoot about either the 9 or the 10 things that if you have them on your homepage of your website, you need to remove them.
Typos.
We won't go there. The funny thing was, I actually spotted even more of them. If you go and take a look at some of the little hover help icons, you'll find quite a few extra ones in there as well. We could play a
This
game.
happens when you rage type. This happens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I cringe at half the tweets and social media posts I put out, even in the Web Squadron group. I put them out and I go, how did I get that wrong? I just want to mention, though, something that Mira said. She says that we always have nice and well-ironed t-shirts. I want to let you all know into a very good secret in that I have forgotten the last time I actually ever ironed any one of my t-shirts. They go in the wash. I just stick them on. They come out on the hanger and it just goes in my wardrobe. I can't think of the last time I've ever really, and I don't think these are actually that.
Come on,
I
let's
feel
be
like
honest
the
about it.
camera deceives some of the wrinkles.
Yeah, but it's when you get your butler to do it, you don't realize that you actually have had things ironed. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
And to be honest, Imran, it can't be the camera removing wrinkles because look at my face.
Oh,
time for a new
AI,
camera.
mate, AI. It is it's the lighting. It's the lighting. If you're very strategic with the lighting, you can hide quite a bit. You'll be surprised what you can do.
Yeah.
So obviously, Paul, you excited? I mean, no, hold on. Let me remind myself. You have got some pre-planned questions, I'm guessing,
Yeah.
and then you're going to
Yeah.
see where the conversation goes.
Yeah, I've got. I sort of sent over probably about half a dozen questions over to Thomas. I've taken some more questions and things from sort of different, sort of the Facebook group and so on. Different people have asked questions and things. And obviously, I want to weed out the things that I think are not really relevant, or I don't particularly think I should be asking. I don't think that it's up to us to find that information out. But on the flip side of it, like I say, I've got some questions there about different things, and we'll see what comments come in.
Yeah, so very important comment. I do have a steam mine, but I don't steam mine my t-shirts ever. Mainly because once you've sat in a car or a train or anywhere, whatever you iron just goes to pot. But yeah, but well, I mean, look, you can't see what we're wearing down here, and we are normally clothed. I will admit that, but it's like the camera does hide a lot of the wrinkles and stuff. The worst thing is if you're wearing a black or a dark t-shirt and you accidentally got a bit of toothpaste dropped onto your shirt. That is the worst
toothpaste,
thing.
eh? Toothpaste.
That's the worst thing. And then you literally sometimes I will maybe I've spotted it and then I'll position my hand or the microphone to hide it strategically. So I have done that. Have you got one there?
No, it's a new T-shirt. No, but
So just gonna say hi to Shibem as well and everybody else. So one thing I was just going to mention, and it'd be good to get your takes on this as well, is really common question is people saying they're struggling to get clients or they're struggling to charge more. And one of the questions I then say back to them is, what is your portfolio, or can you share a bit more about you? And 9 times out of 10, they either have a really old website that's not been updated with much like example websites or content, or they've got a website and there's no social media outlet, there's no Facebook link, there's no LinkedIn, there's no nothing. And I can literally say to them that the reason you're not probably getting loads of clients, etc., or people finding you, is because you haven't built up your brand. And your brand doesn't have to be just your business name. Your brand could be you. You don't have to. I'm not saying you have to go and stick a post up about walking your dog or what you're eating, whatever. You don't have to do that. But if you're struggling, that's what you got to do. And I'm a bit fed up of, I'm going to contradict myself here now. I'm a bit fed up of some people that are really good on the branding right now on TikTok and places. They are really hot on it. They put out tons and tons of content. They're getting all the likes and they're probably getting loads of sales and leads and sales of their products. And I think a lot of them are bullshitting a little bit. But at the end of the day, if it works and you're getting sales, you could say that about any product. Oh, this is the best drink in the world and you're going to live longer. If the messaging works and you buy it, whether you live longer is like slightly neither here or there. If it works and you go and make that impulse sale, or you're prepared to go and click the link or find out a bit more, you kind of go, it's working. And I think at this day and age now, being out there in some form or the other, it's like I'm not saying you've done this for a reason, Paul, but you're now putting out more content than you were before. And I think that some of that is because, in the old days, you could get, I'm not saying you, but in the 5, 7, 6 years ago, people were like, yeah, just put out one video a week. And you could almost get away with it. But these days, if you want to still be remembered by people, you've got to be in their eye line, right?
Yeah, can we take a little step back?
Yeah, go on.
Because I kind of got a different take on what you're saying there. The first thing I think I would probably do is, if you have a website, let's be honest about it, you should have a website. If that's what you're promoting that you do is building websites, you need a website with a portfolio and so on. So the first thing I think I would do is look at traffic. Are you getting traffic to it? If you are getting traffic to it and it's not converting, then there's going to be a reason why. And I think one of the biggest sins that anybody that builds a website that sells a service or a product does is they talk about themselves. And let's be brutally honest, my company's been in existence, web designer that's been here since 2012 or whatever it is. Like, I don't give a shit. Pardon the French. And they talk about themselves and what they can do. And the reality is, this one thing I heard years and years and years ago, and it's always stuck with me, is if I'm going to a site to have a website built for me, the same as if I've got branding or whatever it is, I don't care about you. I care about me. What are you going to do for me? Are you going to do what I need you to do? And if you are, how do I get in touch and how much is it going to cost me? So stop focusing on you. Focus on Mark's going to disagree with me. I can
No,
tell
I'm not actually. I'm just going to say there's got to be an element of prove it as well.
Yeah. Social proof is fine. And this is where, instead of having a testimonial page, you have testimonials on your site that have, proper testimonials that have the photograph, the name, the company, so people can check that out and see how viable or, realistic that is, because we can all make up BS sort of testimonials. And people will always take things like that with a little pinch of salt. But if you do have social proof, especially if it links to things like Google reviews and stuff like that, then you can check those things out. But like I say, for me, it's like the content on there should be about what you can do to solve the problem of that potential client. Because people only go to websites for a couple of reasons. They want to buy something, they have a problem, they want a solution, or they're in trouble for some reason, like they're looking for a plumber or something.
There
most
are other
people.
reasons, but we'll stay friendly here.
But this is talking about buying a service
Yes,
or
yeah.
building a website.
Yeah,
Or building a website.
I think Mark will somehow satisfy that with
Oh.
whatever's going on in his head right now, whatever you want to term.
Whatever brand
I
is on his
sell, I
top
sell,
today.
I sell all sorts of services for
I know.
websites I've built.
I need to know.
I mean, you're absolutely right there. You're absolutely right. It's like I care less about how someone looks or sounds. I mean, I've got to understand them and I've got to make sure, we can communicate, but I care less about their look or their gender or what they're wearing. And it's more about, are they going to satisfy me? Oh God, we've gone down that road again. Are they going to satisfy me with what I want?
You need to speak to Mark.
Yeah, you know what? So I tend to agree. Also, though, that's kind of reassuring when the guy you've got doing something that would traditionally be called nerdy looks a bit nerdy. I haven't got a problem if
Yeah, you are
you
right
know,
there, yeah.
when I look at a web dev and they've got hair down to the back of their neck, they're wearing heavy metal tee. I don't care. That kind of, yeah, exactly. It kind of fits the image in my head of what, are they eating pizza at 4 a.m. while coding all night long? Great. They're the
Do you know,
person I want for the job. Um,
I think you're right. There is a little bit of bias that does kick in, and like I just said, I don't care. In actual fact, we do care. So it's like if you went in,
mhm.
say, to a car dealer to buy a car, and the person who was selling you the car did not look quite smart or even slightly sophisticated, like they knew what they were
It's a
talking
bad
about.
example because they're just all sleazy
I
salesmen, aren't
know,
they?
I know. Whereas, like, if like I remember a long, long time ago speaking to someone about it was to do with it's nothing to do with website, but it was to do with an NHS bit of software toolkit thing. And the person who spoke to me was like the way they came across and the way they were dressed. I got this feeling like you're bullshitting me. You just turned up in a really really smart suit and everything, yeah, but you don't know jack from shit. You don't know anything what you're talking about. And I then I went and said to him, right, I always love this scenario. I went and said to him, so is this server fast? And he was like, oh yeah, it's really fast. I went, is it faster than 12 parsecs? And he was like, what do you mean? I went, well, I care a lot about the Kessel run. Will it achieve that? And he was like, yeah, it will do that. And I just said, the thing, you total asshole. Like the fact, you agree to it. So
Oh, I love it.
I think I think sometimes some bias does kick in with how a person can look a tiny bit, but I think absolutely right in that I just want to know that if I want an e-commerce solution, or if I want have solar panels fitted on the roof or whatever, I need to know that they can do that because I'm trusting you, not just with my time and money, but basically my business as well. And I mean, I could go on and on about how many times I've been burnt by businesses where I've trusted them and I really did my homework, but they just go and let you down. And
Mhm.
I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy or the company that lets people down or is remembered for that. And so, people out there, if you're struggling to get clients,
Oh,
you've
yeah,
got
that
to
was the
work.
question.
Yeah, sorry, what was
There's a
that?
question.
There was a question. How was it? Basically, how do we get clients?
It
Oh
was
yeah.
well, it was
Yeah.
a little bit like where well, if we go back to it, they say they're struggling. They then share their website. They either not got a website. That's the big like red alarm bell. Like you haven't even got a website. Or they have got one, but there's no social media. There's no nothing. There's nothing about them. So I sort of look at it and go, you're claiming to be like high flying web designer. You're claiming to have loads of clients. You know what I really hate? I really hate this when they have a counter and it goes, I've built 900 websites.
Oh, those ones that, yeah.
And then there's
All
like,
those stat widgets, basically. They're in Elementor, aren't they? 76 pork pies eaten this week, 12 cups of coffee drunk today, and 5,000 websites built.
yeah, and then you go and look at their portfolio, and there's only like one or two. I that really gets on my nerves.
Oh,
I bet you've got one of them on, haven't you, Mark?
no. It's actually something else that Paul pointed out this week that made me laugh lots. It was on a certain website with, we've got this many happy customers, and all those little tiny little profile images were stock photos. It's just your BS filter kicks in with marketing these days. You see
And
that,
then
and I don't skip past it.
The thing is, though, I was going to say that most people probably wouldn't even notice that. But I think I'd be wrong there, because the demographic that you're targeting would be someone that builds websites, and therefore would probably have seen that. I think you only got to spend 5 minutes around somewhere like Envato Elements or any sort of like on Dribble and things like that, and you can very quickly see there's the same half a dozen profile photos for the service, so for the team members. It's all the same people. And those are the same ones that you're talking about on that particular thing. So it's like, to me, it's like that already looks like you say, like BS, because it's like, okay, you're not going to have photographs of real people when you start off with, but when you're a year, 18 months down the line, maybe you need to go back and revisit this, especially when you were literally poking at other companies for their shortcomings, when the reality is you have shortcomings too. So maybe, the glass houses thing kind of holds true. Do you know what I mean?
I'm just going to really quickly touch on what Friendly Girl says there, because I've noticed that Friendly Girl and Nick are commenting on this, and Nick seems to have it in the bag in that this is important. A lot of you that do newsletter subscription services, you will have noticed like a red warning somewhere that says you've now got to sort out your DMARC records or something. And I do need to look into that. And I'm pretty sure at some point, either I or Paul or someone somewhere is going to do a video. I have to say, Bo, I was actually waiting for someone else to do a video. I'm not saying Paul do it, but I was waiting, and I'm surprised that so far no one anywhere has done a video yet.
I'm getting kind of conflicting information for this, because I have had one client, in answer to your direct question, and they are using MailerLite, and for that it was just setting up making sure DKIM and SPF are set up, and they didn't mention DMARC in the MailerLite email.
I think the DMARC is, you may need to set it up. I don't think it's the case you have to set it up on every single setup. I think it's a case of you may need to set this up if like you say, the DKIM and the SPF don't actually sort what out you need, sort of like that domain authority or the domain registration kind of thing to prove it's coming from you.
Right. Hello Mensch says that the problem is that people expectations for a website price are very low. So I've touched on this in a couple of videos, I think last week, and I've just recorded 2 more this morning, which kind of go on a bit further about this. So there will be people out there that will have, they don't want to pay a lot. It might be because of the geographical location in the world. So we got to respect that. There will be some people in the world where $50 is a lot of money. So that's maybe what they pay. And there will be people in the UK. I've come across so many. The minute I say anything in the thousands, they kind of fall off their seat and go, I'm not paying more than £100. I often bring them down to, what does this website, or what will this website or this solution mean for you? What is the problem you're having? What is stopping you? What's affecting your business, your sales, or whatever? What will it mean for you if we were to get around this problem? What are the benefits to you and your business? Where could you now be next year?
Yeah, but aren't they going to be the people who just think, well, I just think I need a website because everybody's got one?
And when it comes down to them, that's where then I kind of go, okay, we can give you a basic website, but here's the cost. And then you might talk to them about all the upsells and whatever, but you're going to have that market where they don't want to pay more than £50, whatever, because they heard a radio advert that said, hey, you can build a website with GoDaddy for £1 or $1 or whatever. So sorry, you're going to say something, Mark? Go on.
Yeah, so I shared with you, I think it was at the weekend, somebody I know, a friend.
Atif.
No, a friend.
No, friend.
Sorry, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, no, he built a site using Google Sites.
Yeah.
And I shared it with you guys, actually, because I thought it was damn good. All things considered, there was nothing wrong with it. And it cost him bugger all, didn't it? So we've got to bring something extra to the table. Design doesn't crack it anymore. Just being able to design a site doesn't.
Yeah,
but I think this is where you've got 2 different kinds of people when it comes to a potential client or a client. You've got those that have been told they need something, so therefore the only influencing factor is how much it's going to cost, and if it goes over what they've got their perceived sort of limit, which is normally in the sort of the 3 figures as opposed to anything higher than that, then it's too much. But then you've got the people that understand And that's why they're looking for a web designer or developer, whatever you want to kind of, brand yourself as. And they're not looking just for the website. They're looking for the hand holding, the explaining why you need to do certain things, helping them with various different aspects, maybe taking over some things, maybe pointing them in the direction of a copywriter, a photographer, a professional photographer, those kinds of things. But also, and I think this is one of the things a lot of people underestimate, is the support that you give them during the project and after the project. And this is, when people say, like, well, why are you charging me this much money when company Y can do it for this much? Or, Yellow have been on the phone to me and they'll charge me £400 a year and they'll do everything for me. It's like, yeah, because the everything for you is they'll build this crappy templated website and then do nothing for the next year until the invoice is sent out to you. Yeah. But if you have a good web design company, individual freelancer, whatever it is, it's a relationship that grows and develops, and you're there to help and support.
That's exactly what I was thinking when my phone rang at 6:30 last night while I was eating my dinner. Yeah.
Oh, I don't give my mobile number to any clients.
Problem is, he wanted an in-person meet. He wanted it in a
coffee. That kind of client.
Oh, shut up. So I gave him my mobile in case, obviously, if you're going to this meeting in the, I don't know where it was, some
alleyway
shop, and so and it's like, well, then
some car park at night.
Yeah. Flash your headlights.
Walking the dog again.
Anyway, excuses. Oh, shut up. So anyway, for whatever reason, he had my number, but and don't abuse the privilege.
But that's one of the key reasons why I never give a mobile out, is because people, when there's a problem, clients. Not all. Some clients are totally understanding and they'll send you one at 9 o'clock the next day. But there are many clients out there, they just go into panic mode. Oh, crap, my website is blah, blah, blah. I'm going to phone Marco. I'm going to phone Imran. I'm going to phone Paul. And it's like, yeah, you can phone my business number, which is in my house, but it's in a different room and I can turn that off if I want to. But I won't give a mobile number out. And I don't care about clients going, well, what if I need to get in touch with you? What?
Yeah,
I'm not your 24/7 providing you technical support. You pay me to build a website. I pay you, so I charge you for hosting and domain renewals. I'm not charging you to be technical support when you need me and if you need me. Sorry, that's not what you're paying me for. If you want that, £500 a month.
I think that's a fair point. I do kind of regret.
I'm liking that amount.
Yeah, I mean, I do regret a while ago handing out putting my mobile number on, because I was getting phone calls not just from old or existing clients, but from other people as well on the back of watching a video. They go to your website, find your phone number, and they literally call you up and go, so that video you released 3 weeks ago, I tried it, it doesn't work. And I'm just like, they're going, what video are you talking about?
Thankfully, I've only had that one time where someone has phoned me up that seen a video, and they were relatively local and they wanted me to do some work for them, kind of thing, which I wasn't interested in doing. But I think this goes back to what I was saying. Some people don't have that sort of switch in their brain that just says, maybe I'm invading someone's privacy.
Oh, God,
because they've seen you on YouTube when you have live chats and stuff like this, and you're helpful and you're trying to help people out. Some people don't have that separating factor between this is acceptable, this is taking the pee a bit. And I it's a difficult one.
Well, it's funny that, hi Eddie, by the way, hope you're okay, friend. That brings me on to something whereby there's a type of email or communication I've been getting for a long time, but it's now like, I feel like it's gone like, it's just gone like that in how it shot up. So people, they contact you, and you probably get this a lot, Paul, and it's almost like there's like a secret group out there that tells them start every email with this sentence. And the sentence is, I have been following your video channels and I have been supporting you. Can you now please? And then you get a massive email about all their problems and what they want to do. And I'm sat there going, so you watched my video and you supported my channel, like, and then I have to always go back with my same. I even have my response in Notion. I just copy and paste and go, that's great. I'd love to help you, but you got to book me for a one-to-one consultation now or something like that. Do you get a lot of people that always, it's like a guilt trip. It's almost
just
like they want to say,
outside of our industry, just take that email, put it into some other types of video, anything you could watch. Would you would you know, a handyman who's showing you how to change a tap, then phone and say, I followed your videos, but I'm stuck. Can you come around and fix my tap?
You'll be surprised, Mark.
Yeah, I think
They
you'll be
all
surprised.
start with that.
I do get that. I don't get a
Right
huge
now.
amount of it, but I've got to be honest. I don't even reply, and I don't want that to be nasty.
No.
But the whole thing is, I create content out there to answer as many questions as I think is realistically sustainable, and to help people and show people different directions. When they kind of then go and find my email address and start emailing me, then it's kind of like, to me, it's a case of like, there's a line has been crossed there. It's like, if you want to leave a comment in the Facebook group where you'll get community people will come back and help you out, or a comment on a video.
Yep.
And if I reply to it, then happy days. But the reality is, if you imagine, I mean, Imran, you got over 1,000 videos on it. Exactly. There's two ends in channel. Sorry, my teacher kid comes out. But it's you know, you've got over 1,000 videos up on there. I've got like 800 odd videos up on there. You're kind of thinking, well, if you considered one person left a comment every single day on each one of those videos, that's potentially like 800,000 plus comments every single day. And people do sometimes get a little bit annoyed that you haven't replied to their comment.
Oh yeah.
Not very often, but you do kind of get that. But I think people need to be realistic. Is the fact that, this isn't something you're paying me for. This is something that I do, and if you get value from it, absolutely brilliant. But you've got to take out the fact that we've got lives, we've got families, we've got work we do, we're creating content, all those kinds of things. We've got people with mobile phones going off while you're trying to have a conversation, and
Can you hear that? That's
yes.
the chap who tried to phone me at 6:30 last night.
We can hear it, but it's very minor. And you're absolutely right there, Paul, in that there's a good portion of comments, like every so often I'm checking, where I don't reply and I just do the heart, because that then means it disappears out of my latest comments or whatever. And there's a lot of people where they think they can literally just like, so you've told them a solution and now they want you to refine that to be more specific for them. And it's like, there's only so much we can do. Someone here called Fake. Okay. I mean, you're obviously a real person because you've obviously put something in there, but you said tutorial on ACF field. Look, Paul's got loads of tutorials. I've got tutorials. Just go to our channel, do a search for ACF. I don't have to spell it out because you obviously know how to write ACF. Go and do a search and you'll find videos. And ChatGPT, believe me, it's the number one browser or tool I'm using all of the time. Like what you can do with it is just amazing. I did a post yesterday in Web Squadron group, and I mentioned how I used Notion on and off, and I kept using Notes to store my to-do list because I found it was really accessible. And then I switched to using Notion because I started to appreciate more how I might have made a list and I could be out and about and I could refine my list. And when I jump back onto my Mac or whatever, everything is synced. It's not like one device has got an updated list, and it's really cool. I don't care about loads of Notion features, like so many tutorials go on about add the cover art, and I'm like, don't care about that. I just want it to be really cool. But Notion's been a great advancement for me in terms of keeping things in check. But ChatGPT, of every AI, I know you like Perplexity AI, and that was in the news last week, actually. I think it was in the news for additional funding or something they were getting. But ChatGPT AI, amazing tool. What's your number one tool that's really changed your life? That you would say in the last 12 months, whether it's AI or something to do with tech, or that's just made you feel like either you can get things done quicker or better, or it's developed you?
I wouldn't say it's changed my life, but it's changed my workflow. It would have to be primarily ChatGPT, because one of the things that I like doing now, and I think I've said to you about this before, I don't know if I said it on the live stream, is I focused specifically on the bricks tutorials because that's kind of like a newish website. It just means it's easy to keep everything there. But to take one of my videos, run it through another sort of AI generative tool, which is Mac Whisper, which allows me then to create a transcript of that video. And then I can dump that into ChatGPT, go through and ask, sort of lay things out. And it'll come back with a written version of that tutorial.
Yeah.
Which means that then I can, which means that I and obviously I'll then run it through something like the Grammarly AI checker to check for plagiarism, to make sure that grammatically it makes sense, and just tweak things to make it a little bit more in my tone of voice. But it means that I can back up the content that you can watch on screen. You've also got subtitles automatically applied to those videos, and then you've got a written version, which sometimes will be backed up by code snippets and things in there, sort of when you're talking about something. So once the video has been done, I can just point that back to the written version of it with the video embedded in it. And it just means it's a better sort of setup. And that generally takes probably, if I said 20 minutes to do the entire process, to formatting everything, adding to the site, doing the SEO and everything on it. And I've got to be honest, I've found that doing that, I've got first page on pretty much most of the tutorials on the Learn Bricks Builder website, if not top results in quite a few different things, primarily because of that written content.
Compared to like the amount of time you would have spent just doing one post, it's for me, they are the game changers, but it's great. I mean, social media posts, I'll go on in the morning, I'll think of a topic and I'll say, right, generate 10 posts for me and in my style or what I want to say. And out of that 10, 5 of them might be tragic, but 5 of them might be what I call nuggets. And then you take them and use them, and it's great. Mark, anything for you? I've got a feeling you're going to say ChatGPT as well, but anything for you that's helped
hands down,
life?
the most life-changing thing in the last year, Elementor Notes.
I'll get lost.
That was the year before, Mark. Come on. That was 2022.
I was slow to adopt, to see the light. No, I mean, ChatGPT. Just this morning, I used it to take gravity forms address field, turn it into latitude, longitude, display it on a Google map on a back-end page on a website. How cool is that?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I mean, I'm just going to add by what Paul mentioned. I do this quite a lot. So sometimes there might be someone who's put out a video and it might be like an hour long. And I go to YouTube, copy the transcript, dump it in and say, just summarize. And it just gives you the summary, the bullet list. You go, great, got it, and move on. And like you're done within like a couple of minutes rather than wading through. Or it's like, so WP Tonic did a live chat with Kevin Geary. I think it was about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Rather than sitting through it all, I just took a dump and just says, right, just summarize the good and the bad in there. It struggled a little bit to summarize it properly, but it kind of gave me the gist of it.
Did you start that sentence off with
shouting?
Yeah.
Did you start that sentence off by saying, I took a dump?
He did. Ignore him.
I took a dump. I took what Kevin Geary said and I took it as a dump.
Are we feeling brave enough to mention the Elementor roadmap?
Hell yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, yeah. So
Nicholas will be shouting at us all now.
No, yeah, I saw Nicholas in here, and I thought, should I even mention it?
Well, before you go off onto that, have you seen Verdi's post today about wanting the feedback about Elementor? Starts off with Elementor.
No, not seeing that one
yet. Yeah, I did that yesterday or Monday.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I did that yesterday, yes. No, the day before or yesterday.
But actually, they dovetail really nicely because the questions were all very leading as well on that, weren't they? Basically, what do you want to see if it's not AI? Or hosting, stroll on.
Okay, so in terms of that roadmap, and Paul did a video the day after. And I didn't put any video out. Yeah, I mean, I didn't put any video out mainly because you'd already done yours.
Paul, I haven't seen your video, sorry.
No, and for me, I was a little bit disappointed because it wasn't really a roadmap. It felt like more of a... By the way, he is pointing to the slogan on the T-shirt, not scratching his nipple, if you're wondering what Paul was doing then. But
you say that.
it felt like more of a recap of how we ended the year rather than the roadmap for 2024. And so I was sat there waiting for something's going to come. Any minute now, they're going to go, and here's the new roadmap.
Just one
Here's
more
the
thing.
global class. Here's all the new taxonomy or where we're going. So if the event had been renamed as Recap, I don't think I would be as disappointed because I would have gone, yeah, it's a recap. I get it. They're just, in December, Ashley Whitehair normally does, he normally leads on a lot. He hasn't really done much like
He's no longer
webinars
there.
or anything with Elementor in December. So I thought, okay, recap over the latest beta versions and whatever, blah, blah, blah. Fine, I get it. But when you say roadmap for 2024 and we don't get, well, what's happening then?
It was meant to be just quarter one, wasn't it, of 2024?
Even for
I think it's
quarter
good.
one,
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue, and this is where I saw, like, I'm not defending it, but because like they were talking about the beta version that came out with all this extra stuff, the Element widget manager and all of that, you could argue that when they become final release, that will be quarter one's release. Therefore, for 2024 quarter one, they are telling you about what's coming up. But I still felt like when you say 2024, I'm not just thinking of like,
Okay, one.
yeah, I mean, even
Yeah.
though it was quarter one, I'm thinking of the long game. I want to
Yeah.
know
Even if it's just a sneaky peek at an idea of what they, yeah.
the global class. I mean,
Uh,
January 2023, they mentioned it. Then it was mentioned again in June, like a tiny bit about we're still working on it. I need more. I really want to know more because Bricks, as we're going to hear about later on today, no doubt, it's going places with what it's doing. Breakdance, is building momentum behind the scenes as well. What are Elementor doing to stay current? Because Paul kind of summarized it quite nicely, actually, in that, yes, we're getting these new features, but we could have done with these 2 or 3 years ago. And if you brought it out 2 years ago, we'd be like, yay, this is, even if it was a year late, we'd be like, yeah, this is really good. But now you've got to start bringing out stuff that's going to get us like salivating. And I hate to say it, but, don't focus so much on just AI. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, go on. I'll let you guys jump in.
Look, from my point of view, because I haven't done a YouTube video on it or anything like that, it was deeply, deeply disappointing, vaguely embarrassing, really awkward, and
filler.
pointless. And I'm never going to get that 25, 30 minutes back. It told me lots of stuff I already knew. You all know I like AI, but I don't want AI in everything.
Oh,
I don't need AI in everything. It's if
depends
you're
what you're
going to
using the
use it,
AI for.
use it wisely, use it smart, do something new and
Yeah.
interesting with it. Don't just go, oh, we best add AI because flavor of the month. There are things we need that are far more important because we've got other better AI tools outside of Elementor we can use. We've got places we can go for design inspiration. We don't need AI to lay out 2 containers in a whizzy way. We can go to anywhere, see a design, copy it. It's not hard. It's just embarrassing. Sorry, guys, if any of you from Elementor are watching, but
I do think though that there will be some people out there who aren't either capable or fully aware of what they can do with, say, ChatGPT or go to Dribble to get inspiration for web designs. And for them to have that little AI component is going to feel, oh, wow, we've got the AI. But when you think about the majority of the user base, and this is my opinion about people who are going to really build websites and work on them, they're going to be aware of other solutions. And when you have TikTok and YouTube Shorts and people promoting all of these other AI tools, if you come out with something which is like basic, it feels really amateurish then against other stuff out there. And there's going to be other stuff out there that we know is drop dead shit. But if that does something better, then you're always going to have this comparison, aren't you? kind of thing. And that's how I feel like at the moment, like you mentioned, the container AI generator. I've tried it. I feel like it just creates extra work for yourself. You're better off just using a wireframe from Elementor or some of the blocks they already give you. Because what it's going to give you, you're going to look at, and then you're going to spend more time reverse engineering it to get it to work for you. So,
yeah, maybe we're actually missing the point. Maybe we're not the average Elementor user. And whilst they were happy to use the word professional 17,000 times during the live, it wasn't even live, during their pre-recorded roadmap, perhaps that isn't the market they're aiming for.
I think this is the problem. I think Element was in a weird place and has been for a little while, because I don't think they know what their target market actually is. And I think the problem is you've got people like Imran, yourself, myself, that have been building websites for many, many years. You're comfortable with the technologies. You're comfortable with, Flexbox, CSS Grid, coding CSS, all those kinds of things, or using ChatGPT to do it. But then you kind of have, like Imran said, you've got the people that they're sold on this advertising dream that, oh, this was so easy, this took me 2 minutes, which we've seen the adverts that Elementor have put out.
The 10K website advert is the one that's going around at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah. But you know what I mean? So I think the problem is, because you're targeting or trying to target both markets and probably what's in between, that you can't satisfy anybody. Because if you look at the beginner side of things, let's take the AI out of it for a second. Show them the container and watch them go, what? How many buttons can I press? Do you know what I mean? It's like, then you go back and you go, well, the thing is, if we had the inner sections and the sections and so on, it was easier to understand because it was just literally put a block inside a block.
Yeah.
But then add CSS grid in, then add in potentially, sort of a global class system. And then you just look at the face of the person that's bought into this advertising thing of, you can get a website up and running in 5 minutes. And you're going to have people going like, this is not what I signed up for. But then you've got people that are more comfortable with it, more technically knowledgeable, and they're going, why hasn't it got this in it? Why doesn't it have a class first system? Why don't we have dynamic conditions? Why don't we have all these things that we people like us have been shouting for 3, 4, 5 years? And I think because there's that sort of crisis of knowing what they actually want to attract, what their target market is, they've got 1 foot in one side, 1 foot in the other, and they don't know which way to go. And because they're so far entrenched with the number of sites they've got out there, it has the sort of the WordPress effect, where this is one of the reasons why Gutenberg has taken so long to get anywhere, is because so many people use it. There's 14 million sites out there with it. You can't make a sweeping change. And I think this is where the problems are coming in, that Elementor's at that point, or it has been for the last couple of years, where it doesn't want to make a choice because there's money on both sides. And then obviously bring in the hosting and like you say, AI. AI is probably there to attract the more beginner user. And they'll say, if you want to get your site up running in 10 minutes, use one of our template things and then use AI to fill out the content, generate the images, and blah, 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 blah.
So go on.
Bricks on its homepage, though, does bill itself as the builder that grows with you, or something along. Is it strapline? Something along those lines, isn't it?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'll have a look now.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right there in that. There's still a lot of people in the Elementor community who don't use containers. Like every day you're seeing someone who goes, oh, why can't I just go back to how it used to be, for instance? And I wouldn't say they're a minority, but there are people out there. And there's more of us that kind of go, great, we've now got this, but it's not everything we were expecting we were going to get, so that when we first heard that we're going to get Flexbox containers and all of these things, we were expecting a little bit more. And you could almost say that about Loop Grid. Stuff came on and then we had to wait. We got the taxonomy filter, but it's not. It's okay for basic filtering, but you wouldn't use it for WooCommerce in a way. You wouldn't use it for. You're still going to have to go for Grid Builder or JetSmart or something like that. So this is where the frustration kicks in. I mean, that being said, though, even with Bricks Builder, I still say to people, I would still recommend you go and use Grid Builder, even if you're using the Bricks Builder has got a good. I'm not going to knock it. It has got a good filtering system, but if you're going to do WooCommerce good and proper, definitely go for Grid Builder. But I think you're right in that is you're trying to satisfy new users who I think are going to go, oh, wow, we get AI. But then they're probably going to be the people who never, ever do the extra CSS that we always do. They're just going to take the blocks as they are. Right, we'll put our heading, we do our text editor, boom, boom, boom. They
Cookie
almost
cutter.
fit into the Wix audience, I feel, where it's just do, that's it. So for them, they may use it, they may not. Whereas a lot of us, I think our problem is when we find a new tool, we always want to get the maximum out of it. We don't just want it to do what we want it to do, but if we know we can do more, we feel like, oh, we've gone above and beyond. We've got more out of it, for instance. And I think
that's the nature of humanity, though, isn't it? Because think of cars. I mean, what's the national speed limit? 70, but we all have cars that go in excess of that, have features in them that we never use, but we've got to have them. And so they're just playing to that audience.
Can I just say, heated seats was the greatest invention in cars. Forget every feature that we've ever had in the last 100 years.
Not in the summer.
Because when you've got a cold arse or your back is hurting, boy, does it feel good to have that on your back.
And it's really annoying for your neighbours when you sat in their car warming your butt, though, isn't it?
Do you have a problem choosing which of your cars to warm your butt in, though, Paul?
Oh no, I just go into one, warm it up to a certain temperature, go to the next one to warm it up to another temperature. It's easy. West wing, east wing, doesn't really matter which garage I choose.
I wonder if Atif Lambo's got heated seats, or is that too much excess weight?
By the way, just want to say hey to Atif. I've just noticed he's crept in, and I'm really sorry, people, if I'm slow on getting through the comments. Sometimes when we're talking, looking at the comments becomes slightly secondary at the moment. I'm just going to quickly scroll down and make sure we've not missed anything massively.
I'm just reading Friendly Girl's comment about the search widget. Yeah, quite a few times I've sort of got ChatGPT to make me some code to extend or improve its functionality.
So Richard says that Elementor want to be seen as the tool for the professional, but they want to compete. I don't think I have a problem with telling people to use Elementor or WordPress full stop over Wix and Squarespace rather than being caught into a close-knit infrastructure system, especially when you then end up having to pay quite a lot for extra features that you would have got anyway if you were just using WordPress, plugins galore and all that. But yeah, I think there is some truth in that. They want to be seen as competition for them. And
don't you think, though, like you say, you wouldn't recommend it over something like WordPress? And I think obviously we, being in the WordPress ecosystem and in that community, we would be biased on that front. How many clients do you think, though, on how many people that would go down that Wix kind of route are comforted by the fact that they don't have all those choices? Because not everybody wants unlimited choice and unlimited flexibility. Some people like that Webflow experience if they're more of a pro person, or the Wix and Squarespace experience if they want something that's, they don't have to think about plugins and add-ons and themes and all that kind of crap.
But I
was coming on to that in that if I know they want just a basic site and I know they're hard or they want to use Wix, I would say fine, use Wix. And it comes back to WordPress where I am biased towards Elementor and Bricks as well. But if I know they want to use WordPress and they just want a basic site, you could just go with the Gutenberg. You just go with the classic editor. If they just want a standard blog site, because like someone about 2 months ago, they just wanted a website to put on their photos and text so that I think they were like in their 80s or something, so that when they're no longer here, their family will have somewhere to go just to reminisce over photos and stuff. It's never going to be updated. It's just photos from when they were a kid and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, just go and do that. Just go and use, your blog editor and whatever. Because
Primarily,
it's
that's
not
good.
for selling a service. It's not for generating income. It's just a portal.
Might even having their own website might not be the right solution for that. You know,
Oh, they'd already purchased a domain,
okay.
and they'd all. I mean, I did say to them,
But you know,
first thing you need to do is stop using 20 different font families.
mm.
Like it's.
But doesn't
all
that
Come
actually,
on.
if you take this
Definitely.
argument a step further, you say people don't care if you're using Bricks or Gutenberg or actually people don't care what their site is built with. If you turned around tomorrow and said to somebody, actually, I'm going to use Webflow for your site,
Very true.
they're probably not going to care. They're just going to say, as long as it does what I wanted to do. If you said, oh, this is perfect for GoDaddy Builder, they're not going to care.
Have a word with yourself.
Well, I
Yeah.
know, but the point I'm making is it just takes that whole argument. Does it matter if you use Bricks or Elementor as long as the client is happy? Does it matter?
Do you know what? Many times when I'm doing a proposal, I'll mention the WordPress bit, I'll mention the Elementor license, but during the point where we're talking about the problem solving and all of that, that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about you're going to be on WordPress. They want to know that they have the facility to log in and manage it if they want to. They want to know that they can add products. They want to know that they can add users if they need to. That's all they want. Because you're absolutely right. Most people don't really. It's like if you go and say to someone like a marketing agency, right, go and create like a marketing campaign for my business to put on social media, whatever. Are you going to care if it's done with Adobe or Canva or whatever? You want to know that what they put out there or what they said they were going to deliver is going to tick the boxes for what you want and that you can use the output. You don't want the output so that it's like, I don't know, a certain format, which means you can't upload it to Facebook or whatever. You want to know that the format or the output is going to be usable by you to achieve your aim and hopefully generate results for you. So people, I don't know about you, but a long time ago, I learned from watching people that the minute you say WordPress, they kind of go, huh? Like, what are we talking about here? And it's, the less technical jargon you use, the more simplify you make the language and the more you talk about what you're going to do to solve the problem they're having or to reduce potential problems. That's all they care about.
Which goes back to my comment at the beginning about the content on your website, how
Yeah.
that's what people are looking for. And that's what will generally help convert them from being just a reader of your website to a prospective client and then ultimately a client. But yeah, I mean, I released a video probably about 5 years ago, and it was basically the same thing. Clients don't give a damn what you use, and they don't. Most of the time, and again, this kind of feeds into the comment that I've made in many different times, which is don't limit yourself to just one tool set, because all you do then is you either, it's fine if you have a demographic and that's a specific client base that you service. Do you know what I mean? And that tool is the best tool for that. But if you're a more general web designer, freelancer, like most of us probably are or were, I think if we just say, this is the tool that I use, and you want a website like that, well, this isn't the best way of doing it, but it's what I'm comfortable with. I think you shortchange your client. So this is why I like to have different tech stacks. If I've got someone that wants a simpler website with some basic dynamic data and things like that in it, I'll probably use GeneratePress and Generate Blocks, because I think Bricks is overkill for that kind of site.
Yeah.
But then if you've got someone that wants a more complex site, then Bricks is probably going to be my solution to that problem. But if I didn't have that separate tech stack, then I would be trying to shoehorn everything into Bricks. And I think that's a bit of a disservice to the client.
Yeah, and I also think it's... Oh, sorry, go on.
Though, isn't it?
Sorry, say that again. Sorry, Mark.
More of a problem the other way around, because Bricks can cope with a simple site.
Oh, yeah.
Something else to cope with a complex site. That's when you're doing a disservice.
Yeah. But if you kind of consider that, I don't really see on a simple site, you're just creating a couple of templates with Bricks, but then you've got Bricks inside there. And yeah, it could, like you say, absolutely could do it. No problem whatsoever. Every day of the week. I just think as a lighter weight solution with just makes sense to use something. And like I say, for me, GeneratePress and Generate Blocks is what I would use. Other people use Cadence. Other people might even go down to full site editing and sort of like the default block editor, to get closer to the core of WordPress.
Yeah, true. Couple more counterpoints. Obviously, if you're know far more about bricks, then you're probably doing your client a favour. Whilst I get it, generate pressure rate blocks for a small site, perfect solution. But if you're not that used to it, because
Oh
you
no, no,
use
no,
bricks for
I'm not
90%
saying.
of your sites, I think
But
both. Just yeah, I get you saying, but also there's a fair argument that if you know something really, really well, then you're not really shoehorning something into it. You're just using the tool you know best to do your client the best job you can do as quickly as you can for them.
well, let's agree to disagree on that. No, I see where you're
No,
coming from
because
with
I'm
it.
not disagreeing with you either, because I do get that sometimes a simple stack for a simple job makes a lot of sense. But
The analogy that I used on it before, and I don't think I used it here, I think I said to the missus about it, it's like if you started your business with a hammer and a nail, then you'd be really good with a hammer and a nail. And then someone comes along and says, this screw is better than a nail. It does the same kind of thing, but it does it better. It's more reliable. You wouldn't carry on using a hammer to put that screw in. You'd move your tools over to using a screwdriver. So you expand your tool set. Then there's times where the hammer and the nail are the best solution, and times where the screw and the screwdriver are the best solution. And I think that's kind of the way that I look at it. It's like I just think it's part of my ongoing learning is to look at the tools, look at other tools out there, test things out, and see which I think is a better solution for a particular project. And like you say, yes, you could use the more complex tool like bricks to do it, absolutely, every day of the
Yeah.
week. But I
of
personally
course,
wouldn't.
you also have to think: is this client going to want to grow, expand?
Yeah, of
Whilst
course.
this might be the best tool right now, in 6 months' time, is he going to come to me and say, and am I therefore saving him money by already having it built in bricks because it's going to be easier
Well,
to?
Wow, that was a
Yeah,
really loud car.
that was a
living near the
motorbike.
Formula One.
Yeah.
Wow.
Um, Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you
was
know
going
what
to
I'm
say,
saying.
please don't forget to smash the like button. I just want to quickly point out, though, that in 2 hours and 15 minutes, Paul has got. Oh, hold on. I think I
No
now know where
way.
that noise came from. Or not.
Oh God. Oh, I see he's in
Did
his
I say
Tesla.
something
I'm
right? That
And
is the
he's
I'm
in
doing
his
clearest.
John
Tesla.
Ferris today. I'm doing a John Ferris today.
That,
I'm in a
The
car.
quality of your
that is
picture is
the
amazing.
clearest camera we've ever had with
Absolutely
Artie
amazing.
using his phone. It's really clear, crystal clear.
Mm.
I mean, if I'm honest, it's my card. He's on the west end, so get out.
He's just taking
Shall I move
advantage of
back?
your heated seats, hasn't he?
Oh, I just wanted to say that obviously Paul's got his live chat in 2 hours 15 minutes, and I was going to say that in about 14 minutes, Jeffrey was going to finally release his breakdance video, but I've now gone to his channel and it's not on there again. It seems like every week Jeffrey keeps moving the date, so I don't know if he's completely cancelled it or if he is still going to be going live in 16 minutes. But it's going to be a bit of a heavy going Wednesday afternoon. But it looks like there might be nothing coming up in 16 minutes. But I'll keep an eye out on Jeffrey's channel. What are you up to, Artif?
Come
I
on,
feel like if
Paul.
I
You've got
tell
to
you,
give
you're
him
going to
the
make a
same
joke, but I'll tell
smart
you
ass
anyway.
Go
answer
on,
you
tell
give
me
it with
anyway.
me
Tell us
sat in the
anyway.
car.
Nothing fun. I actually went to, I had to go to the tip. That's why I'm in the car.
Yeah, you could have made it something much more exciting than that. Fair
I
play.
know.
I know.
You could have
I
said
know.
I've just like
I
I'm
could
doing a
have like made it so
makeover of
much
my
more fun.
bedroom or the lounge. No, he just gone to the tip,
I'm
kind
just
of thing.
waiting for the Ferrari to be delivered.
Okay, do you want
With
to
the
know
detailing.
do you know the truth? The truth is I'm waiting for the next showroom to get empty. People are leaving and then I can get to go in there. So I'm waiting for that show house to get empty so I can go in.
Uh,
I thought that's
I'm
what it
waiting
really
for
he
that.
was.
just drives around. Do you know something? I think I've mentioned this a few times, but I still want to make sure I can get I have this plan. I've got this script of about 30 things that I've scripted using ChatGPT, and they're all like one-liners. I want to go around IKEA and I want to sit in different rooms where I just record the one-liner. So when I release it, it's going to look like I'm in like loads of different locations, but all it was me just going through IKEA. Really, just got to hide all the price tags so you can't, and also random people walking in behind me. Like someone might walk out the bathroom in IKEA
Yeah.
while I'm sat on the
Don't
bed
do it
or
on
something, which
don't do
might
it on the
be a bit
weekend.
dodgy.
The thing is, I reckon
Yeah,
that's
don't
what
do
a
it on
lot
a
of
Sunday.
Instagram people
I've
do
tried that.
anyway.
I'm just going to quickly mention a question from user 948272. Sounds
Is that
like
his real name?
Yeah, I was going to say it sounds
Good
like a
name.
prison
Good
ID
choice.
number.
Obviously,
says-
273 wasn't taken either.
No.
271 was. I hate it when that happens, I tell you.
What are your opinions on hosting multiple websites on one hosting account? Look, if your hosting package, shared package, can handle it, it does depend though. Okay, like what's the likely number of visitors you're going to get? How precious are these websites? So if these websites have got to be always online, you're going to get loads of visitors. There's a risk that if it's slow, you're going to lose conversions or sales, and having a shared solution isn't always the way to go. However, if it's just like, I don't want to say standard client websites like brochure websites often, but I've got SiteGround servers or shared hosting, and I've got them in other areas as well, where we might have like 10 or 15 websites on there, because they don't get a lot of visitors. And that's not down to us. That's because the clients don't really advertise or let people know about their sites enough. But it's kind of like the speed is not a question, if that makes sense. Now, when it comes to GoDaddy, I want to be very upfront. GoDaddy's speeds can be very tragic. So if you're going to put 25 websites on a 75 gig max GoDaddy, if you are very controlling over the files and the databases and the types of images and the number of blog posts and the number of content per website, you could get away with it. But for me, it's like every question out there that is very subjective, in that I don't know your client websites. I don't know what you're putting on there. So I'm not going to say, yeah, do it, but I'm saying it is possible. Anyone else got any views on that in terms of like, I mean, we're not going to pick on GoDaddy here, but go on, Mark's going to say
Look,
he does this all the
what does a
time.
75 gig max GoDaddy hosting account even mean?
I know.
For me, you might be able to run 25. Amazing. I have no idea what that means. Is that bandwidth transferred? Is that
One
storage
website's
space?
bad enough.
What is that? I don't know.
But
Don't use
also, is it a
GoDaddy.
reseller? Is it a reseller account? Because if it's
Yeah.
just a standard account, which will allow you to have up to that number of sites on there, there's a big difference there between that and a reseller account, which is kind of geared up to having multiple sites with, sort of multiple users. But like Imran says, if you're effectively using low traffic sites, you could probably get away with it. Is it the best way to do it? Probably not. No.
Yeah, absolutely. So user 948 says, would you recommend migration to SiteGround? I use SiteGround. I think the customer service there is great. I know Paul's got his recommendation. What was that name again, Paul? Because I did look it up when you said it. What was it?
Right, the one that I use my own business then, Klook, CLOOK.
That's it. Yeah, there are loads of platforms and services out there. So again, just because someone says they use it and it's okay for them, that's great. But I think you're going to have to find out. The question I have got for you, user 948, if that is your real name, I'm going to call you.
Zaki is
Hello,
his
you.
name.
Okay. Oh, it's Zaki. I've just noticed that. Hi, Zaki. You are a web designer, aren't you? Or a developer? Because I'm sure we've reviewed your websites and stuff. So, like, don't just, how do I put this without sounding nasty? If you're a brand new web designer, or you just enter the market, I get it, because you probably are not au fait or experienced different host providers. Like we all have our opinion of GoDaddy. It's not because we're copying what someone else has done. It's because we've probably experienced it and worked with clients using the GoDaddy servers. So, we don't have too many good feelings about it. But if you've been designing for a while or you've worked with clients, you need to form your own opinion. You can listen to what we say. We are influencers at the end of the day. We will have expertise, but you need to find your own path. You need to decide for yourself, because if it goes wrong, you can't come back and go, well, Paul, you said use,
Don't pick on me.
XYZ, and I went and purchased it because you said it.
I won't care. I'll be in my mansion anyway, so screw the lot of you.
You know what? Just thinking back through this hour's live, and how many different topics we've touched on, and some of them actually have been
I haven't touched
related to
anything.
web design and what have you. We've spoken about the changes for email deliverability, hosting, Flexbox containers, got to mention, CSS grid, all these different
Notes.
things. No, yeah, but actually just makes you realize how much we're expected to know,
Oh yeah,
what we
that's
have to
Can I
know.
changed
start,
massively.
And that brings us straight back to that first question about getting clients, how much they want to pay. Don't do yourself under. We know
yeah.
lots of stuff in this game, you know.
Artie, can you lift your chin? Lift your chin up so we can see your face properly. There you go.
No, put it down.
No,
Put it down.
just go like this.
Yeah,
You
look
put
like
this
you're
question
peering
there
over.
purposefully. Might as well just be like, all right.
So when you wonder, you know, am I too expensive? No, you're really not.
Yeah.
You know, we have to know about DNS, email, so much stuff. If you host sites for your clients' servers, yeah.
Right, so I'm going to close off in a couple of minutes. So, hi to Floyd. I think this is the first time you're on here. Please do smash the like. Make sure you share this link with your entire friends and family. And I hope we
And the
see
dog.
all of them
And the
on the
dog.
next live chat. But question for the group was: there's going to be new tools coming out. Obviously, you know, AI, so many things. There's going to be other page builders and stuff as well. So having to learn new tools and even purchase them isn't really ideal. What are your thoughts? I disagree with that, because up until this time last year, I really started using ChatGPT and I really started using Midjourney. I did not subscribe to ChatGPT 4, but I did subscribe to Midjourney. 4 months later, I stopped Midjourney. And then 2 months ago, I signed up to ChatGPT 4 because then I started hearing more. Mark Harris was one of the people that really helped convert me, because I knew you could get more, but I wasn't convinced, and now I'm really glad I did. So there's going to be loads of tools coming out. For me, it's
It's always
like,
good to learn new tools.
yeah, for me, it's like
Yeah.
everything in life, you know.
But if you're doing this for a business, that's the cost of doing business.
Yeah.
You can't just use the tools you're comfortable with, because at some point they're going to become obsolete. And if we're talking about, you know, specifically about web design, or let's say specifically inside the WordPress ecosystem, then it's part of your whole job, as it were, is to be kept up to date with current trends. And we're not talking about just, you know, sort of what's the latest page builder, what's the latest theme, what's the latest technology, but everything that surrounds it. If you go back, as Mark said there, the amount of information you need to know. Go back 15, 20 years ago, as a web designer, you needed to know how to do CSS and HTML. That was it. You didn't design it. You didn't create the graphics. You didn't do the typography, the copywriting. You didn't deal with the hosting. You dealt with none of that. You had a
Yeah.
job. Now a web designer has to deal with understanding, like the Adobe suite, for example, the Affinity suite, web design, CSS, multiple different tools, dealing with hosting,
Well
dealing
said.
with email marketing, dealing with a million different things. That's because if we just stayed where we were 20 years ago, we would be left behind big time. The reality of it is, as the technology has moved on and become more available to everybody, we as designers, we as web designers, developers, whatever you brand yourself as, we have expanded our skill set. And the ones that never did are generally the ones that get left behind, unless they're part of a bigger agency where they don't have to do that and they've got the luxury of just doing a single sole job, whatever that is. So I think as part of your remit is you have to learn these things and understand them, whether
But
you
not
use them
only
as a team.
that, do you not think you might possibly be in the wrong job if you're not excited and keen to get your hands on new technology?
Yeah.
Happily take my money, ChatGPT 7, right? Or whatever, you know, whatever it might be. For
No,
Paul, I don't know, a
I
new
think you're absolutely
camera,
right there.
or
You've
we're all
got
into
to,
it. We
if
like
you,
tech.
yeah, if you don't move along with what, or keep an eye out on new developments, you will get left behind. But that being
Yeah,
said,
well, how are you
you
now?
don't have to jump on every bandwagon either. You
No,
look at
no.
what is
No,
good
no.
for you or your business. Can I just check, Artif, are you just parked over while we're doing the live chat? Are you surveying someone, like
No, he's
surveillance?
charging his Tesla, isn't he?
It's not mine. It's Paul's. I'm charging it. For, he made me do it.
Hang on, which one have you got?
He
Which
said,
one have
"I'll
you got?
only
The
let you
blue, the
drive
black,
it if
the
you
red,
make
the
sure
green?
it's fully charged."
I just want to just very quickly.
He's
Jay
in his
goes
new
right.
Cybertruck.
But
Jay's got a technical question. He goes, is there any way to adjust the resolution of images between desktop and mobile using an image carousel? And I'm not sure how best to answer this because, yes, you can use app media, but I'm just trying to think about when you say adjust the resolution, I mean, like you could adjust the size, but
Well,
I
size and
mean, I like
resolution
to
in
set
this
my
mean the
images
same,
all to
don't
be
they?
full resolution as long as they're sized correctly. I mean, I don't know. Anyone want to jump in on that?
I think in this example, size and resolution are the same thing because when you're talking
Hmm.
image, you're talking height by width or what have you.
yeah, unless
Yeah.
you've got like
So,
specific images which you actually like made for desktop, or one is for mobile because you want a certain thing to, then you probably want to show and hide
so
maybe
switching
that
from
image or
landscape
this
to
image on
portrait,
the different
for
brick.
example,
Yeah.
Afif. So go from landscape on desktop to a portrait image on mobile.
Yeah.
So you'd swap out the image.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which
Yeah.
page builders you
Yeah.
can quite easily do, or you
Yeah.
can even
You
use a
can do.
bit of HTML with that media or something. Right, I'm gonna close off
Can I say
now.
one thing just
Oh,
about
go. Yeah, go
tools?
for
I
it.
think it's really important. It's a thing which you know what, learning new tools you won't know until you try, and it's I think a big thing for me was bricks, because I first heard about it from Paul's channel when it was kind of very new out, and he was really promoting it as
Yeah.
something which is really cool and awesome. And I was very comfortable with Elementor. I had no reason to even try it, but just on the back of his video, I thought I would. And you know what? I think it was a really good thing to give it a go, and I found it really helpful. So it's always good to keep
Yeah,
trying.
I definitely agree. Like, it was on the back. I'm not blaming Paul, but I am saying on the back of him
Mm-hmm.
putting across
Yeah.
his feelings towards it.
All that
It did
affiliate
convince
commission.
me. And
Yep.
that day I must have spent a fortune ordering Lego from Amazon and realized it was the wrong
Don't know how many dance classes I've had to cancel over the last 12 months.
Whoa. All right,
You could all blame me
Sorry,
or thank me. It's entirely up to you. David, then that's cool. You can blame me if you want to. I don't mind at all. Our chief's got my back. He understands.
I'd be worried if your Artif had your back. I'd be worried about that bit, but yeah.
Well, I've got to say that he's got my car.
Yeah. All right.
I live in one of his rooms. He's got a big mansion. Me and there's like at least 10 stock models that live in different rooms.
I look
Stop
forward to
calling
that
yourself
live
a model
chat,
now.
Artif. I do look forward to that one.
And
I'm
one
going to
day
say
I'll unlock the door so they can get out.
I want to say thanks to Paul, Mark, and Artie for joining along. It's been a good live chat. But get ready, everyone! In 2 hours' time, I think there's a lot of us that are looking forward to the Bricks Builder chat, or just Bricks, or generally WordPress with Thomas and Paul. And I hope it all goes well. I'm pretty sure
I'm really looking forward
there's going to be a
to
lot.
seeing
It's going
Thomas
to
on
break
camera.
the records for live chats in terms
Pressure
of WordPress.
is on.
Shame about the host.
I'll get the butler to do it.
Yeah, and also I do want to give a bit of a shout out to Paul as well, because he did step in yesterday to help Dave out, because Dave had a chat arranged, and I think it says a lot about the community behind the scenes, the influencers, the people that do work on things. Whether you do YouTube videos or not, we all love to support one another. By the way, Mia, next Wednesday I'll be live. But I want to say big shout out to Paul, and I'm sure Dave is forever thankful on you stepping in to do that, to help him do that. So yeah, kudos on
What
that.
did I miss?
Someone wake him up.
What did I miss yesterday then?
So there was David arranged a live chat, and he couldn't make it, and Paul stepped in to basically chair it and just make sure everything worked well on there, so it still went out, because obviously Dave's advertised it, and to be honest, Dave could have just done what Jeffrey's done, which is just reschedule it, to be honest. Like,
Dave Foy we're talking about.
yeah, Dave
Yeah.
Foy, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Yesterday was a busy day. I did 2 live streams and released 2
You
videos.
did a lot.
It was a long old day yesterday.
You did quite a lot in it, and I remember just thinking, "Wow, this is like the
He did a
third
lot.
video coming out into space of like 12 hours."
Polishing his gold coins.
Well, I get the buttons to do that. I keep telling you that.
But yeah. Right,
I
everyone,
got
I'm
my
going
hands
to
dirty
say
with a brasso.
right. Right, I'm going to say goodbye to everyone now. See you all next week. Take care. Bye.
See you all at 3 o'clock.
Take
Yeah,
care.
see you at 3.